is going on, everyone's? We here and we back with another episode of
Is My Point Valid?
Yes, indeed. We in this thing, and I am Brandon Stocker.
And I am Camille A. Stocker.
Put a D between the Brandon and the Stocker, and that's what you got from me. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get into this episode with What You Know Good. So, what you know good, baby?
All right, so first I want to start off with like a word of encouragement because I've been feeling some type of way with some things, but here's the thing: with whatever you are trying to do, keep going.
Keep on pushing.
Don't stop. Whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are a person in college, high school,
whether you a singer that can't sing,
whether you are at a job and you're trying to move up in the company, whatever it is that you do and what you want to accomplish, keep going. I know it feels like some people don't understand. Some people aren't supporting you. Guess what? You support you and you keep going for you. You're not doing it for anybody else. You're doing it for yourself. So my words of encouragement to you are just to keep going, because I know it gets hard and I know sometimes you just need those encouraging words. So here I am to give them to you. Keep pushing, keep going, don't give up. Yes, it's okay to give yourself a mental break, but come back stronger than you had left, right? So
show you right.
Keep going. Can y'all hear me? Hello. All right. So I watched 2 documentaries this week. One was called Southeast 67. It was a documentary on a program that was created in Washington, D.C. during the crack epidemic, which was in the 80s. And this was a program that promised 67 7th graders college scholarships if they just were in the program and they completed high school. Out of those 67 students, only 6 of those completed high school. I think
6 out of 67.
6 out of 67. This program was founded by the founder of Choice Hotels. You know them hotels that we have in
all them hotels.
Mm-hmm. Stuart Bynum, and he was the reason for this program. He wanted to help kids, the black children in this, because they were black, in these communities succeed. But what they did not put into the factor, and it wasn't a program where like if you got pregnant or if you went to jail, you got kicked out. If something happened and you came back to school, you were still in the program. It was just, we're here to help you. Only 6 of them graduated high school. I think 6 of them probably went on to, or 4 of them had went on to get their college degree, and then one of them he was like he went to jail, but he sat down for a minute, but he came out and now he owns his own trucking company. So the program also helped them don't stop. When I say keep going, things are going to come into your life, but you have to continue to push if you really want it. There's going to be some ups, there's going to be some downs, but what do you want? And so, yeah, that was on called Southeast 67, and it's on Tubi. So if you're interested to see,
shout out to Tubi
about
once
again.
Yeah.
So the next documentary that I watched was The Great Cookie Comeback, Rebaking Wally Amos. Wally Amos was the creator and founder of Famous Amos Cookies. And he lost the company because he did not handle it correctly. One of the ways that he did not handle it correctly, he was just giving cookies away for free. He was trusting other people to take care of the money, and the company did not succeed. But somebody else did purchase it and all of that. He did sign away his rights, and he signed away his name. His real name is Wallace Amos. He signed away his name. So he had issues with even using his birth name to just do anything in life. And then he lives in Hawaii, and he was trying to rebuild with a company called Cookie Kahuna. but it's not going anywhere because it's not going anywhere. So yeah, you can watch that on Tubi as well. He was down and out in that documentary. Very interesting though. He was a very just high spirit and everything. All right, last up on my what's this? What you know good. It's May. Happy May. I hope y'all had a good April, but guess what? We're in the fifth month of 2022. So enjoy your May. And that is all I have for What You Know Good.
Alrighty then. We're going to go ahead and keep this thing on a moving. We're going to go ahead and jump into the topic.
See, it's all today.
That's all, folks. No, but what the topic for today gonna be?
All right. Is marriage a privilege or a right?
What you think?
I have no idea. I read an article that said that marriage is a privilege. What is a privilege? A privilege is a special right, advantage, or immunity granted or available only to a particular person or a group. What is a right? I don't know. Like, honestly, my thing is like, a right is, and then it's blank.
I don't know what a right is.
Because we're going to get back to the marriage thing, but really quickly, I was reading and it was like, you have the right to vote. You have the right to freedom of speech. You have the right to an education. And so I started thinking.
You got the right to remain silent.
Yeah. I was thinking, the right to an education. So everybody can get an education, but here's but it's terms and conditions to how you get that education. So then I was like, well, isn't there terms and conditions in like how you get to a marriage?
Yep.
So is it a privilege or is it a right?
I think it's a privilege as far as an advantage.
How is marriage an advantage?
Because it's two. Two is more than one. It's either to move things around when you got two people instead of one. It should be. I think so. I mean, the two incomes, two brains, two people taking care of the kids.
But I don't think that you said two people taking care of the kids.
Straight up.
In
the household, within the household. I think it's an advantage. Oh, there's tax advantages too. So
that's like saying, well, that's an advantage. You get this. Your taxes are the rich. You know what I'm saying? Like they get the write-off, and all of that. I think marriage is a privilege. I wouldn't say it's a right because everybody does not want to be married. Some people would like to
INDEPE.
Okay, be independent. Some people would like to just, live together, common law.
Shack up.
I didn't want to say that, but
I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, so I guess it is a privilege. I'm bringing this up because I was watching a YouTube couple and he was like saying that her emotions, her security was a luxury. And I was like, excuse me, say what? I was like, what? This doesn't make sense. And then
her security,
him making sure that she is secure in their relationship is a luxury. And I was like, wait, so is marriage a privilege? Like, if you're saying, because I think a luxury item is what? Like, what's a luxury car?
Something that's special.
Right. So
it is special for him. Yeah, for him to be taking care of her.
Okay.
That's special. How many people you know out here getting taken care of by a man?
See, I don't like that.
Hey, it is what it is.
No, it's not taken care of.
What is it?
We making a choice because of you, and then I think you making it. I'm not taking care of.
What is it then?
I'm taking care of myself with help.
All right, so I don't take care of y'all.
What?
I don't take care of y'all.
I don't think he wasn't talking about money.
No, I'm saying period.
Security. I have to be secure with myself first, I think.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
I don't think she was concerned with her security. I think the security within him was the question.
Was interesting. He was like bringing this out of left field. It was like, what's going on in your brain? But marriage also entails vulnerability. And then I'm listing these things: vulnerability. I just said security. And then I've heard some people say stability.
There's some men out there who want stability in their marriage.
And so I've heard of stability. And so that goes back like a privilege or a right, because if it's a right, then you're really not looking for somebody to be like vulnerable. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, a privilege is something.
A right, I don't know. A right just seems like direct.
That's what I'm saying. If you're being like so direct, then I don't want to be vulnerable with you. I don't
need to marry me.
I don't want that security from you. If it's a
right is like an obligation.
Yeah, I Googled it.
And what did it say? Google can't even tell you what right is. No,
it says it, but it's not using it in the sense of what I am thinking. Like, a right is something that cannot be legally denied.
A marriage can be legally denied because it can be legally.
So a marriage is a privilege.
Marriage.
Got it.
Marriage
got it. Marriage is a privilege. A right is something that cannot be legally denied.
Marriage can be denied.
A privilege is something that not everyone has the privilege. So a privilege is something that can be given and taken away. So
a right is something everybody has. A privilege is something that very few get.
So like I was saying, like you make a choice to not be in a marriage. You're making a choice to say, okay,
it's your right.
It's your right not to be it's your right not to be like everybody else.
It's a right not to be married, but it's a privilege to find somebody.
To be married.
Yeah.
Okay.
Show you right.
We got it. What do y'all think? Because we're sitting here like confused and
trying
stuff.
to
figure it out. I think that's the point of this, because are people talking about is a marriage a privilege or a right, or what it entails? Okay, so although we are talking about that, should a marriage have, or my question was, how vulnerable should you be in a marriage?
Ideally, I mean, you should just lay it all out there, ideally. But I guess it just depends on the two parties and how they go about doing their thing. Because like we always say, everybody's relationship is different. So what's vulnerable for us may not be vulnerable for someone else. They may not want to be vulnerable in their relationship.
Because I don't.
You feel me?
I do not.
Very few people want to be vulnerable. So being vulnerable is a privilege too. Having vulnerability within a relationship is a privilege.
See, I wrote these questions down for a reason.
Show you right.
I wasn't just coming out of left field. I know it seemed like I was like, this is weird, but no, I wasn't coming out of left field. Like, I really want to know, like, because we talk about in a marriage how it's conversation, and then I had saw a comment that said, okay, people talk about conversation, but comprehension, like comprehending understanding what somebody is saying. I was like,
that's the difference between listening and hearing.
I was like, oh my goodness, that's a good point, because we're so busy always.
I hear you, but I don't understand what you're saying.
Or we try and shoo somebody else off in order because we don't want to understand where they are coming from. And that is a part of that vulnerability as well. I'm trying to be vulnerable to you, but you shooing me off. You're not hearing what I'm saying. And then I think that here goes the next part of that was security in a marriage. if I'm showing you vulnerability and I'm trying to comprehend the things to you, and you're knocking that away, is security. I'm not secure with, where we're at, or our conversation, or what's happening. So,
Because if you can't communicate, if there's no understanding, there's going to be confusion.
and I think there's
How can you be secure in confusion? You can't.
chaos, too much chaos, too much chaos. The next question that I had, which I feel like there are questions under, is a marriage of privilege. Can we feel trapped in a marriage? And I'm going off of this question because I said of a YouTube couple that I watched, and some of the things that he was kind of saying was like, wait, so can we feel trapped in
Absolutely.
a marriage?
Mentally, physically, emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel trapped. Absolutely. Sometimes we just need to let it go like another love TKO. Because sometimes we get into things thinking it's going to be one thing, and then it turned out to be something else. And by the time we figure that out, we done married this person, so now we feel like we trapped with no way out. When there is a way out, because it's not a right to be married. It's a privilege. You see how I just put that together? Huh.
See, I'm telling you,
Show you
I
right.
come out of left field with this.
Yeah.
I'm asking these questions because I was like, I'm watching them and I'm seeing the like
Confusion.
it was chaos. The conversation was like chaotic for me because it's like,
they wasn't understanding. They had a lack of comprehension.
And it was like, you just threw her under the bus on the camera,
all
right?
All on the camera.
But then it was like, they are big time YouTubers, so they are seen. And he was saying that the comments and stuff will say you're trapped, or telling her you look like you're trapped. And and he told her
he holding a hostage.
Hold on, right? And he told her it seems like she low key agrees with what the comments are saying.
I don't think it's low key. I think it's regular key.
For you to say that on the podcast.
On a podcast. Like, say, first off.
Embarrassing. Wait.
First off, we ain't discussed this prior to us going on this podcast. It's too real. It's too real.
To him. She
turned him straight face. She straight faced him.
I was like, what? It was so uncomfortable to watch. And so that's where this whole
in
like
real
conversation.
Time, we finding out what's going on in real time in people's relationships.
And so I was like, wait.
They go on camera thinking it's something and it be something else, and they come out on camera.
And so it's like,
I don't even like you.
It looked like they didn't, but and so that's why I was like, you can. That question is marriage a privilege or a right? And it's like, okay, so since it's a privilege, you have the, but you like, don't you have the right to get a divorce?
Absolutely.
But so a
divorce is a privilege too. Because they ain't got to sign them papers. If it was a right, there wouldn't be no paper signed, and I can just do it on my own. You feel me? I don't need you to agree if it's a right, because that's my right. It's a privilege to be divorced, and just like it's a privilege to be married. Huh. I ain't got to sign nothing. We be in lingo for the rest of our lives.
Right. That would we
and I can tie you up because you can't legally get married again.
Yeah.
Huh.
Look at you making all the sense in the world.
I'm trying to tell you, I do this all the time.
Okay. It was so yeah, so I guess I did get a conversation from somebody, but it was so weird. I think I did a screenshot of a part of what they were saying, and like I said, that's why I was like, yo, what? He says, it's like you feel insecure in our relationship is more of a luxury than it is a necessity.
It is a luxury. It's a luxury. Yes, it is. Absolutely.
I don't know. I listened to the whole thing and it was like
They're just weird.
this is off. This is off, and
That's what happens when you learn each other on camera.
I don't know if they're learning each other on camera. I think
Obviously they are. They didn't have this conversation prior.
they said they had shot it like they had shot several things, and so they were trying to figure out. So I guess this point it was like he was just like, yo, I'm gonna say what I feel because this is what I feel, or this is what
it was edited.
No, it wasn't. They shot they had not posted. I think they had tried to do so many episodes of it that it was like,
so they did like segments.
No, it was a full thing. They finally came to sit like we're sitting right now.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they finally said, okay, this is the one. You get what I'm saying? Like, say if we were sitting here, okay, this is the first take, and then I watch it. I ain't like that one. And then we reshoot again. I ain't like that one either. And then we reshoot.
So let's take number 3.
I don't know what number it was. It was just weird, and it just got me to thinking like, yo, what looks good or it could have been, or it could be when things start to change. And then it got me to thinking too, like, okay, yeah, it's a privilege to be married. Yeah, there's like these things that come with it and everything, but I think the point that she was trying to make is don't lose yourself in your marriage. So although, you know,
and that is very important, because with that, if the marriage doesn't work, then the woman most of the time is trying to figure out who she is and what she's good at and all of these things, because she didn't have to when she was in the relationship.
And I think that was what's happening with that. It was a sense of he has this, you're building this, you're building this, and I've watched you build it from the ground up. And
she doesn't know her place in all of this.
And now I just become a mother, and like I could relate to that. Not saying, and then I think he took it personally, right, because of how she said it, and she probably didn't say it being vindictive, but it was how she was feeling, right?
And then they on camera, mind you.
No, she didn't say this on camera.
Okay.
And how she was feeling and everything. So it's just interesting of what you see. I also read that a lot of college degree people do not want to get married. They see what marriage is, but they're like, a lot of low income people do.
It's that double income.
And that's exactly what
it's
it
that
said.
Income.
That's exactly what it said. You have 2 incomes, but it said a college graduate will
figure it out on his own with them 6 figures
and say we can live together, we can be boyfriend and girlfriend.
But I don't want you to have half my money.
Nope. I was like, that
make
is
your own.
So interesting.
Go make your own.
So interesting. So yeah, this was interesting. I don't know if this makes sense, y'all. Does it make sense, Brandon?
It makes sense.
Okay. I was trying to see, looking at that conversation and being, you know, like a bird on a limb, and you looking like, what the heck is this, right? And
what's going on? And
then the question of is marriage a privilege? Like we make this choice, and so if your marriage is going through something, through a time, right? Then you make that choice. Is it your right, or is it your privilege to be like, nah, I don't want to do this, or yeah, I'm gonna work through this?
It's a privilege. Yes, goodness, because you ain't got to get married to nobody.
You don't have to go through the things that you go through. You don't have to help anybody build. You don't have to say, I was there for you. I like, I don't have to be these encouraging words for you. You are making a choice. I think that's what a privilege is on your a choice to say, I will do these things for you because as in the Bible said, I am your helpmate. Like we have been placed together for me to help you. So in that, I think we lose sight of God as well. And we lose sight and we just depend solely on each other when the main man that we should be depending on is God and him covering everything, children and all of that. So yeah, I think that is the basis of it because we get so caught up in wanting the things that we want and succeeding in the things we want that we lose sight of this. So yeah, marriage is a privilege. How do y'all feel about it? Do you think marriage is a privilege or a right? Because everybody cannot get married. Also, let us know, what does marriage entail for you? Is it vulnerability, security? Is it stability? If so, let us know down in the comments below.
All righty then. We're going to go ahead and wrap this thing on up. But before we do, we got to hit you one time with on this day in Black history. So today is May the 2nd. So on May the 2nd in 1963, 1,000 children, a part of the Children's Crusade in Birmingham, Alabama, walked out of their classes for a nonviolent protest at the 16th Street Baptist Church to march to downtown Birmingham. Hundreds of the students were arrested, jailed, and assaulted, but not give up their fight.
But did not give up their
But did not give up their fight.
We gonna be on here fussing at each other. No. So this was for racial. Just
keep going.
Racial segregation. And so this was like the Children's Crusade, and this was done by Martin Luther King Jr. and the SCLC. And this is a lot of things took place in Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama.
A lot of things. But moving right along, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. But before we do, make sure y'all go ahead and check us out on all podcast streaming platforms because we there. All our episodes will be there, and y'all continue to rock with us. We'll rock with y'all, and we will see y'all next week with a hot new topic for Is My Point Valid? So, peace, love, and soul.
Bye.